What happens when you marry into a family with strict rules? But you come from one that plays by different ones. For years, the Duggar family has been known for structure, control, and a very specific way of living. Courtship rules, gender roles, parenting styles. Everything had a system. It was clear. It was consistent. And for a long time, no one really questioned it publicly. But then, something started to shift. Good afternoon, how are you, baby? Welcome back to my channel. If you stay with me until the end, let me know in the comments, so I can mention you in the next video. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The shift didn't come from inside the Duggar family. At least not at first. It came from the outside. From the people marrying in. Because when someone joins a family like that, they don't just disappear into it. They bring their own background, their own habits, their own beliefs about marriage, parenting, and independence. And slowly, those differences start to show. And that's important. Because the Duggar brand was always about uniformity. Everyone followed the same blueprint. So even small changes stand out in a big way. Take Anna Duggar, for example. She came from the Keller family, which shares similar conservative beliefs. On the surface, it looked like a perfect match. Same values, same structure, same expectations. But over time, people noticed something different. Anna's situation became one of the most talked about in the Duggar world, especially after the very public issues in her marriage. And yet, she stayed. She maintained the same outward loyalty to the system. So, why does that matter? Because it reinforced what many people believed about the Duggar framework. That once you're in, the expectation is endurance, not change. Anna represents what the original Duggar model expected from in-laws. Full alignment, no deviation, total commitment. Now compare that to someone like Kendra Duggar. Kendra came from the Swanson family. Still religious, still conservative, but noticeably different in tone. Her family feels lighter, more expressive, more relaxed. And that difference showed almost immediately. Kendra's personality is often described as cheerful, easygoing, openly affectionate. Her parenting style, at least from what's visible, feels softer, less rigid, and that creates contrast inside a family that once looked very uniform. So, does that matter? Yes, it does. Because when people notice different parenting styles within the same extended family, it raises questions. It challenges the idea that there is only one right way. And then there's Ginger Duggar. She married Jeremy Vuolo, and that brought a completely different influence. Jeremy didn't come from the same background as Jim Bob Duggar. Different career path, different exposure to the world, different expectations. And that changed things for Ginger. You can see it in how she dresses now, how she speaks, even how she presents her life publicly. So, why does that matter? Because it shows the system isn't as unbreakable as it once seemed. What stands out here isn't rebellion. It's something quieter, gradual change, influence over time. And that's often how real change happens. Not in one big moment, but in small, consistent shifts. Now let's talk about parenting. If you look at different Duggar couples online, you'll notice clear differences. Some follow very traditional roles. Others seem more flexible, more modern. And a lot of that traces back to the families they married into. Why does that matter? Because parenting shows what people truly believe. Not just what they say, but what they practice. And this is where the in-law effect becomes most visible. It's not just about the couple. It's about what gets passed to the next generation. And people notice. Social media plays a big role in this. Years ago, everything came from edited TV episodes. Now, it's Instagram, YouTube, public posts. That creates a different kind of transparency. And that matters. Because now people can compare. They can see differences side by side. And once those differences are visible, they become part of the conversation. Public reactions have been mixed. Some people see growth, individuals finding their own path. Others see inconsistency, or even a quiet move away from original values. And honestly, both reactions make sense. Because what we're really watching is a transition. A family that once operated as one unit is becoming more diverse. And a big reason for that is the people who married in. Now here's another layer. Influence doesn't just go one way. It's easy to assume the Duggar system shapes the in-laws completely. But sometimes, the in-laws shape the system too. They bring new ideas, new perspectives, on marriage, on independence, on raising children. And that matters, because even structured systems aren't immune to outside influence. That's one of the most fascinating parts of this. The core beliefs are still there. But around the edges, things are shifting. And those shifts are coming from people who weren't originally part of it. When you step back, it becomes clear that marriage didn't just expand the Duggar family. It diversified it. Not all at once. Not dramatically, but enough for people to notice. And once people notice, the story changes. It's no longer one single narrative. It's multiple stories within the same family. And that's what makes this so compelling. Because now, it's not just about rules. It's about how those rules are lived, interpreted, adapted, and sometimes quietly set aside. So when we ask, are the rules changing? The answer isn't simple. The rules may still exist. But how people live within them, that's where the real change is happening. And a lot of that change started the moment new families entered the picture. Different backgrounds, different experiences, different expectations. That's the real story. Not a complete break from tradition, but a slow, steady reshaping of it. And it's still unfolding. Are you enjoying this? If you are, leave a comment and give me a like. Now, let's move to the next topic. How Joseph Duggar is being supported by family. And this is where things take a serious turn. Joseph Duggar is facing major legal trouble after being arrested over allegations involving a minor. He reunited with his wife, Kendra Duggar, after being released on bail. But he has not reunited with their children. Both Joseph and Kendra are also facing separate child endangerment charges, linked to a police visit at their home. Those charges are not related to the case in Florida. While in jail, Joseph didn't receive many visits, mainly his lawyer. But he wasn't completely alone. Phone records show that he and Kendra spoke often. And then, something unexpected happened. He received support from his brother-in-law, Austin Forsyth. Austin sent him a message expressing support, saying he loved him, and that God was with him. He also mentioned that he and Joanna Duggar had grown closer to Joseph and Kendra in recent years, and that Kendra might need support during this time. Interestingly, Austin avoided discussing the allegations directly. He advised Joseph to only speak to his lawyer about the case. That message stood out because Joanna had publicly said the allegations were deeply disturbing and expressed support for the victims. According to reports, Joseph responded with gratitude. So while many family members have spoken out in support of the alleged victim, Joseph still has support from parts of his family. And that raises another question. What do you think about this situation? Let me know in the comments.